To the homeless crisis that's gripping the Portland region, we are taking a closer look tonight at a homeless shelter that's succeeding despite saying it's not getting support from local government.
Yeah, our investigator Dan Tilkett was the first reporter to get a tour of the Bybee Lake Hope Center, which is now housed in the controversial Wapato jail. He was also the first to talk to the organization about the decision to pull out of managing a safe rest village for the city. Dan joined us tonight. You say this is a lack of communication?
Well, there's something going on here. That decision we told you about yesterday was because of concerns that the people running the Safe Rest Village wouldn't have enough control over who was in it and be able to guarantee that neighbors would be safe. It's that same philosophy of having rules and expectations in place that Bybee Lake's leaders believe is preventing them from getting funding from local government.
This was the only holding tanks in this whole facility. We took out the guard station that would have been here.
Alan Evans and his organization Helping Hands run the Bybee Lake Hope Center in what used to be the never-used Wapato jail, now for homeless men, women, and children.
We've got toddlers, we've got young school kids, and we've got preschool children. The school bus comes out and picks up the children right in front of our door.
Efforts to convert the jail to a homeless shelter were fought by county leaders.
It's too expensive. It's too far from services. There's no transportation, and the land use policies don't allow it.
Wapato was sold to private developer Jordan Schnitzer, who brought in Helping Hands.
Marcia is our lead RA, and she is a graduate of our program.
With a $2 million state grant and millions in private donations, the conversion was done to initially house 126 people.
This is one of the large 3 dorms that we've just opened up.
In recent days, they've expanded to treat over 300 people. People like Michael Arlington, dealing with meth addiction and the death of his father.
Classes, they benefit me in a large way because they help with depression and all that different kind of stuff.
Helping Hands continues to run Bybee Lake solely on private donations, but is frustrated about what they see as a lack of local government support.
We haven't received any support because we find ourselves outside of the mission of Housing First.
He's talking about the goal of county and city homeless service leaders to move people quickly from homeless situations into any sort of housing, even if they continue to use drugs or deny mental health treatment. The concept is known as low barrier and is based on the idea that giving someone a safe place to live will allow them to stabilize their lives and become open to services. Helping Hands model comes with more accountability, like drug testing.
It feels like there's obstacles in the way for us to say, hey, listen, we have 318 beds open here. We're half full right now. We've got all these beds open in the community. How can we support you and how can you support us?
So back to that disconnect piece over the weekend, County Chair Deborah Kafori wrote a letter to the editor saying she has led the largest expansion of shelters in Portland's history. She said Helping Hands Bybee Lakes has always had access to the same process for requesting help as other service providers. And Bybee Lakes folks have recently gone through the qualification process and were approved to apply for the money. But Bybee Lakes says they haven't seen a grant yet that they believe that they would qualify for.
Dan, tell us more about how you reached out to the Joint Office of Homeless Services about Bybee Lakes' concerns.
There's a lot of different perspectives here, all of them very important. I talked to the Joint Office's spokesman today. Listen.
For our funding, that was not the right location for it. We were adding shelters instead in other parts of the community. It wasn't that we weren't adding shelter, not doing nothing. We were adding them in other places, and those shelters are still open. They're doing a good job now. And we're not sad that someone else found a way to add more capacity to the community. It just wasn't going to work for our funding, for our programming, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing for someone else to, make something work up there.
Just another example how difficult this process is. People have different solutions, trying different things. Sometimes people aren't on the same page. Not easy. We will continue to follow this and see if maybe a relationship is built.
Yeah, but no doubt about it, Deborah Kafori was dead set against that opening as a homeless shelter. She said it was too far out there, and yet if you go out there, there's whole encampments of homeless within a stone's throw of that place.
And it seems to be a success, and Bybee Lakes would like city and county to place more people with them and fill up that 300 plus capacity.
Okay, we'll keep us posted, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.